What happened on that server didn't feel like a game. It felt like a place that had been waiting for someone to return. And I made the mistake of being that person. It was a Friday night. No calls, no plans. Just that quiet reminder that everyone I used to play with had moved on. Jobs, relationships, new lives. And I was still here, in the same room with the same PC, like a ghost, haunting a place long abandoned. I lay on my bed, scrolling through my phone, but the silence made everything feel heavier. My eyes drifted to my PC. It used to mean something. Servers, late-night calls, laughter like the outside world didn't exist. Now it was just a monitor in a quiet room. I don't even remember deciding to move. One moment I was on my bed. The next, the PC was booting up. I browsed old forum archives from Minecraft's golden era. Dead servers, broken links, usernames frozen in time like headstones. Everything was offline, except one. Online. 0 players. No name, no description. Just an IP posted over a decade ago. Still running, like it had never shut down. It didn't feel like I found it. It felt like it had been waiting. And even though every part of me knew I shouldn't, I clicked Join Server. The world loaded slowly, like it wasn't ready to let me in. For a moment, nothing moved. No sound, no ambient music, just silence, like the world was holding its breath. I didn't move at first. I just stood there, taking it in. Trees, fog, empty space. The kind of world that feels like it generated and then just stopped. In the distance, I noticed a small setup. A furnace, a crafting table, a chest, and a few torches placed beside a rough wall of dirt and cobblestone. It looked like the kind of world someone created, placed a few items, then abandoned without a second thought. It was hard to tell if someone had been there yesterday or 10 years ago. I decided to get some wood. I gathered enough to make a crafting table, then a wooden axe, pickaxe, and shovel. Then I built a small shelter a short distance away. Just a basic box. Enough space for a door and a roof. I kept it simple. 4 walls, crafting table inside, nothing else. I looked around once more. My shelter and that abandoned starter spot, both just sitting there in the fog. I logged out and didn't think much of it. It was the next evening. I'd just got back from work, and for some reason, I felt like loading the world again. Nothing really happened the first time, but I still wanted to carry on from where I left off. Maybe it was just nostalgia. So I logged back in. I spawned inside my mud hut. I gathered some food. Then went over to the abandoned starter setup and used the furnace there to cook it. I took a couple of torches from around it, but left everything else as it was. The crafting table, the chest, even the wall. I didn't want to disturb it more than I had to. After that, I moved a little further out and started building my first proper house. It felt calm, just placing blocks and collecting wood, while that classic old Minecraft music started playing. For a moment, it felt like being a kid again. I finished the house and just stood outside, looking at it for a bit. You know that feeling when you first played Minecraft and built your first house, and you just stop and admire it for a moment. It felt like that. Then I started digging near the house. I could hear mobs underneath, which was annoying, but it actually worked out. I found some coal and a bit of iron. After that, I figured that was enough for the day. Nothing seemed off. It just felt like an average abandoned 2013 server. I didn't play all week, but when Friday came around again, I had that same urge to log back in. So I did. I spawned back inside my house. I went to leave, and that's when I saw it. One of the glass blocks in the wall was gone. Just empty. Like something had punched it out from the outside. I didn't break it. For a second, I actually thought someone else might be online. I checked the player list. Still just me. I replaced the glass and stepped outside. That's when I noticed something new on the hill near my house. A single cobblestone pillar with a torch on top, and next to it, a crafting table. I went over to check it. There was also a chest there. Inside were 3 bones. Nothing else. I thought, surely no one else was here. This server is over 10 years old. How would anyone even know I was here? I told myself I must have just missed it the first time. Maybe it was there all along and I just didn't see it. But I swear, it wasn't there before. I left everything how it was and went back to what I was doing. I headed underground and started mining properly this time. I found more iron, smelted it, and made a full set of armor. After that, I kept going deeper, trying to find diamonds. Every time I turned around, I felt like that meme of the guy mining, turning just before he finds diamonds. I explored a cave. Still no diamonds, just those classic Minecraft cave sounds echoing through the dark. It put me on edge a bit, but I kept reminding myself, I'm alone. It's just an old abandoned server. I don't know if that made me feel better or worse. I headed back up, returned to my house. And logged out. It was getting late anyway. And with all the cobblestone I'd gathered, I was thinking maybe I'd start building a castle next time. But after I logged out, I couldn't shake one thought. How did I miss that pillar, that crafting table, that chest? I swear it wasn't there. A few more days passed. I decided to log back in and finally start working on that castle idea. I opened multiplayer, 1 out of 20 players online. Someone was already in. My heart dropped. I just stared at the screen for a moment. I didn't know what to think. Either someone else found this server out of nostalgia like I did, or it wasn't as abandoned as I thought. I paused for a second, then clicked Join Server. I spawned inside my house like normal. I pressed tab, just to check. Watcher_EXE. A player was definitely in the server with me. It was not a glitch. I typed, "Hello." A few seconds passed. Then it popped up. Watcher_EXE left the game. The name disappeared from tab. That was it. I stood there for a moment, staring at the empty player list. 1 out of 20 players. Just me again. I shook it off. I came here to build a castle, and that's what I was going to do. I needed more cobblestone first. I headed back down into the cave system, the same tunnels I'd been exploring before. The familiar echo of footsteps and those unsettling ambient cave sounds. I mined for about 20 minutes, gathering stacks of cobblestone. When I came back to the surface, I walked over to the spot I'd chosen, a flat clearing not far from my house. Plenty of room to work with. I started placing the foundation, outlining the perimeter, corner to corner, planning where the walls would go, where the entrance should be. It was methodical, satisfying, just building. No thinking, no worrying about the missing glass block or the mysterious pillar. I was maybe halfway through laying out the foundation when the chat pinged. Watcher_EXE joined the game. I stopped mid-place, pressed tab. 2 out of 20 players. They were back. I looked around the area. No one was visible. I typed, "Hey." Waited a few seconds. Nothing. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they were busy with something else. I tried again. "You play on this server often?" Still no response. I went back to building. Some people just don't like chatting. I get it. I kept working on the foundation, placing blocks, adjusting corners, making sure everything was square. Every so often I'd check tab. Still 2 players online, but no messages, no sign of them anywhere. After another 10 minutes or so, I'd finished the basic outline and the first part of the walls. Not bad. Tomorrow, hopefully, I can finish the build. I checked tab one last time. Still 2 players. I typed, "All right, I'm heading off. See you around." No response. I hit escape and logged out. Nothing strange had happened. No weird signs, no blocks moved, no cryptic messages. Just someone else on the server who didn't feel like talking. Maybe they were just shy, or didn't know how to use chat. I didn't think much of it. A couple of days passed before I logged back in. Work kept me busy, but honestly, I wasn't sure I wanted to go back to the server. Something about Watcher_EXE joining, not saying a word, then leaving. It just felt strange. But eventually, curiosity got the better of me. I opened multiplayer. 0 out of 20 players. No one online. I joined the server. I spawned at the castle foundation, right where I'd logged out. But something was different. The castle walls. They were finished, completely built. All 4 walls, corner towers, everything. I walked around it slowly, checking every block. It was perfect, symmetrical, clean. But it was just walls. No roof, no interior, no windows, just the outer walls. Finished. Why would someone finish just the walls and nothing else? I checked tab 1 out of 20 players. Just me. But someone had clearly been here. There was a sign on the wall near the entrance. Just lending a helping hand, friend. Friend. They called me friend. I stared at the sign for a moment. I mean, they did help. The walls looked great. But finishing just the walls and stopping, that was odd. I walked back to my house. When I stepped inside, I froze. My bed was gone. Just not there anymore. Where did it go? Then I noticed something else. In the corner of my house, there was a hole in the floor with ladders leading down. I definitely didn't build that. Someone had dug into my house, built a basement. I climbed down the ladder slowly. The basement opened up into a room. The floor was different. A pattern. Torches underneath glass blocks, alternating with oak planks, creating this checkerboard pattern of light. It looked intentional, designed. Someone had put thought into this. Paintings on the walls, a lot of them, maybe 6, 7 or more. My bed, right in the center. The same one that used to be upstairs. They'd moved it down here. Chests lined up along one wall. Furnaces placed nearby. It was a fully functional base. Under my house. I opened one of the chests. Empty. Opened another. Empty. All of them were empty. Just placed there, ready to be used but not used yet. But why build this? Why move my bed down here? Why make the floor so decorative? I climbed back up the ladder, feeling uneasy. I went to my chest upstairs to grab some materials. When I opened it, I froze. Everything was organized. All my cobblestones stacked neatly together. Tools lined up in order. Food separated from building blocks. Nothing was missing. Just rearranged. I just stood there staring at it. They'd gone through my stuff, organized it without asking. First the basement, then moving my bed. Now this. I stepped outside and walked around my house. I saw some random cobblestone trailing off into the distance, but couldn't be bothered to see where it led. I turned back toward my house. That's when I saw it. Behind my house, a sign. Log out time, 11:47 p.m. And another one. Looking forward to seeing you again. My stomach dropped. 11:47 p.m. That was when I logged out. At the castle. Yesterday. They'd been there, watching from somewhere. Saw exactly when I disconnected. Came back to my house and left this message. I looked around. Still just me. But I didn't feel alone anymore. I tried to shake it off. Told myself I was overreacting. I decided to gather some wood, keep myself busy. I walked to the nearest trees and started chopping. Grabbed some cobblestone from a nearby hill. But the whole time, I kept checking tab. Looking over my shoulder. Every sound made me jump. After maybe 10 minutes, I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't focus. Everything felt wrong. I walked back to my house. Hit escape. Disconnect. After I closed Minecraft, I just sat there, thinking about everything. The castle walls, finished, but only the walls. Nothing else. The basement, a fully equipped base under my house that I didn't make. The patterned floor. The paintings. The empty chests waiting to be filled. My bed. Moved downstairs without permission. My chest. Reorganized. The sign behind my house. Log out time. 11:47 p.m. They were keeping track. Really keeping track. They'd put time into this. Real effort. The patterned floor wasn't just functional. It was decorative. Like they were making a home. Under my house. And that word kept repeating in my head. Friend. They kept calling me friend. But friends don't move your stuff. Friends don't record when you log out. Friends don't dig a basement under your house without asking. Friends don't go through your chests and reorganize everything. I looked at the time. Almost midnight. I should go to bed. But I kept thinking about that basement. Why so many paintings? Why move my bed down there? Why put so much effort into the floor pattern? Why organize my chest? Maybe I was overthinking it. Maybe it was just someone trying to be helpful, in a weird way. I shut down my PC and went to bed, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. It's been roughly about a week since I logged into the server. I felt creeped out after last time. The basement, the organized chest, that sign with my exact logout time. But as the days went past, I started thinking, maybe I was overreacting. Maybe it was just someone being friendly, looking for someone to play with. Sure, they were a bit intense, but they hadn't done anything actually threatening. So I decided to give them the benefit of the doubt. Log back in, see if maybe we could actually talk this time. This was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. When it all started to go wrong, I should have known. I opened multiplayer, 0 out of 20 players. I joined the server. I spawned in my house, where I'd logged out last time. When I looked around, I froze. Signs, everywhere, on the walls, on the floor, dozens of them. I started reading through them. At first, they seemed angry, almost, like they were mad I hadn't logged in. Then they'd backtrack, apologizing, saying they just missed me, that they wanted to play with me, telling me I need to play more often. One said I hadn't been online for nearly a week. Another hoped I liked the upgrade, the basement, from last time. Another one said they gave me a room in their house. A room in their house. I was confused. Maybe they were just playing around, being friendly in a weird way. But this felt different, obsessive. The tone kept shifting, frustrated, then apologetic, then desperate, like someone spiraling. I checked the basement. Nothing seemed to have changed down there. I walked back upstairs and headed for the door. It was already open. I definitely closed it when I logged out last time. I stepped outside. 2 more signs were placed right by the door. They said they did some work while I was away. Hoped I didn't mind. I looked around. I was stunned. There was a pixel art Steve, massive, staring down at my house from a nearby hill. Some sort of small building next to it. The whole area was lit up. Netherrack lampposts everywhere, and cobblestone paths, connecting everything. My house, the castle, leading up the hill. I followed the path toward the castle, but as I approached the entrance, I saw another sign. It said they had to finish it, that I took too long. I was confused. I didn't know I was under a time limit. As I got closer, I realized it was completely finished. The roof, the floor, the rest of the walls, everything. And whoever did it, they did a good job. I can't lie. I walked inside. The floor was red and white, patterned. I was pleased with it, honestly. Red being my favorite color. I didn't mind, but I was still creeped out by all the signs, by the tone, by everything. I decided to check my mine next. I'd made one not far from my house, and the path seemed to connect to it now, lit up by the same netherrack lampposts. When I got there were 2 more signs, telling me not to go mining, to go look at my new room. Hurry up. All in caps, like someone was excited or getting angry. I was curious now, so I started following the path back. On the way, I checked behind my house. Nothing seemed to be there. Luckily, I started walking up the cobblestone stairs that had been built. They made access to the top of the hill easy, but down the sides of the hill, whoever did this had put lava all the way down. Pretty strange. But I guess it's Minecraft. You can build with your wildest imagination. When I reached the top of the hill, I followed the path behind the Steve pixel art. I was met with more signs. One said they're always watching. Another one on the Steve itself said they were looking over my house to let me know they're always watching. Next to it was a cobblestone tower structure, a sign on it, Watcher's Watchtower. I opened the door, walked in, went up the ladder to the top. There was a sign waiting for me. It said not to worry. They're just being friendly. I almost just logged out there and then. But I thought, maybe they're just trying to have a laugh. Or it's a joke. Or maybe it's their Minecraft persona. Their name is Watcher, after all. I was creeped out. Yeah. But curiosity was really getting a hold on me. I wanted to see this room they'd made me. There was a giant wooden house in the middle of the hill. The same cobblestone pathing, connecting it to everything else. It looked like it would have taken some time to build, and it looked pretty good. Like someone put a lot of effort into it. I approached it. There were signs on the doors. One said, "Do not enter unless you are my friend." Another, Watcher_EXE's house. They'd called me friend before, so I took one more look at the house from the outside, then entered. Inside, I was met with a sign, "Welcome, friend." Before going any further, I looked at the two rooms at the front of the house. One was a kitchen, or brewing area, netherwarts, an infinite water supply, brewing stands, a good setup for potion brewing. The room opposite was just a storage room, an ender chest, and a load of normal chests. I walked further into the hallway, past those two rooms. There was another sign. It said my room is upstairs. They hoped I liked it. And then another one right next to the ladder leading up. It said, it's next to theirs. My new roommate. Again, I couldn't tell if this was just creepy or someone being friendly. I was in two minds about the situation. That classic old Minecraft house style. Red and white wool on the floor, paintings on the walls, a glowstone light in the center of the hallway. I entered the two other rooms. One was an enchantment room, bookshelves and an enchantment table, a wall full of paintings. The other one was a smelting room, full of furnaces and the same matching painting wall. I decided now it's time to head upstairs. I went up the ladder. I was on the upper floor. I was met with two rooms. One said Watcher's bedroom. I turned around to see the other door. Mine Dude 2012's bedroom. That was my username. So I entered. I was met with a bedroom, a bed, crafting table, furnace, chest, paintings on the wall. It was decorated nicely. But the signs above my bed once again started to set off red flags in my head. They basically said they hoped I liked my new room, that I can live here now, and that I need to start playing more. They've been waiting. But they did say there was a gift in the chest to show their friendship. So I was once again confused about what this person's intentions were. But weirdly, there was nothing in the chest. Maybe they were waiting to give it to me when they came online. I walked out and went to the other side of the upstairs area. There were two more bedrooms, one belonging to Josh22, and another one belonging to Creeperman92X. As I entered Creeperman's bedroom, a weird sound boomed out of my headphones, frightening me. One of those classic Minecraft creepy ambient sounds. But I was more wondering, is this abandoned? Are there other players that still play other than me and the Watcher? I decided to check the Watcher's room after checking the other three bedrooms, belonging to me and supposedly two other players. Again, upon entering, I was met with a sign, telling me I should not be looking in other people's rooms, with an angry face. I was confused. It's almost as if they knew I was going to. And also, didn't they go in my house, my chest, and even make me a whole basement moving my bed around? Surely that was rude, if according to them, entering someone else's room is rude. I shut the door and went back downstairs, took one more look at the decorated downstairs interior, and walked out the house, making sure to shut the doors behind me. I ran around the whole top of the hill. Every part of the sides of the hill had lava placed, running down. Not my style of building, but it must have taken a long time to do, and a lot of lava. I took one last look at the tower and the pixel art Steve, and ran down the path, back down the hill onto the ground. I was going to carry on playing, but before I did, I needed to speak to this guy, because it was borderline creepy, and made me a bit disturbed and uncomfortable, and I didn't want to waste any more time on a server if the player or players were going to be weird and creepy. So I took one last look around, all of the building that had taken place. It did look really good, but it was all the creepy signs, the passive aggressiveness, and the weirdness of how they were tracking when I last logged in. I looked at the signs in my house again, then ran outside to a random spot and logged out. I was going to check tomorrow evening to see if they were online, so I could ask them if it was a joke or some sort of prank, and nothing more, because it was getting pretty creepy and disturbing at this point. The next evening, I logged back in. I opened Minecraft. 0 out of 20 players online. I joined anyway. I spawned at some random spot, started walking back toward my base. As I got closer, I looked up at the hill. The pixel art Steve. Something was different. I stopped. The eyes. They were crying now. Blue wool tears running down the face. That wasn't there before. When did they add that? I just stood there staring at it for a moment. Then I kept walking, back toward my house. I waited. Maybe a minute passed. Then 2. Just walking around, looking at everything they'd built. Then the chat pinged. Watcher_EXE joined the game.
Finally. I was getting worried. I thought I might miss your next login.
Hey, we need to talk.
I know. You've been thinking about me, haven't you?
This is getting too weird. The signs, the building, all of it.
Weird? I thought you'd appreciate it. I know red is your favorite color.
How do you know that?
I pay attention. I notice everything about you.
That's not normal.
Maybe not. But you're still here, talking to me. I have a surprise for me. Actually, no, for you.
Is this a joke, dude? At this point, I'm getting a little weirded out.
Just relax. I want to show your surprise.
What is it?
You'll have to wait and see.
Where is it?
You'll have to come find it.
I started looking around. Where was he? I went back to my house, down to the basement, checked all the rooms. Nothing. I went back outside, walked around the house, checked behind it. Still nothing. I headed to the castle, went inside, looked around. Empty. Where could he be? Then I thought, it has to be up the hill. I walked up the cobblestone stairs, onto the hill, past the crying Steve.
I'm glad you came back.
Is this a joke, this whole thing? I checked his watchtower, climbed up the ladder. Nothing.
I don't know why you think I'm joking. You are my best friend.
I was confused. How did he not see how creepy this was? But I kept looking. Thunder struck. The sky flashed. The timing was perfect. Too perfect. Do other people even play on this server anymore? I kept walking around the hill, looking. Then I saw it. His name tag, underneath the ground. He was below me? I walked into his house, confused. Why was he underground? I can see your name.
They used to, but I'm waiting for them to come back. They haven't played for a few years, but I'm sure they will return.
I wondered why these people left and never returned. Did they grow out of Minecraft? Or was he the problem? Anyway, I began looking for a way to get to where he was underground. I walked around the house, outside, couldn't find a way down. I can see your name. How do I get to you?
Here's a hint. I like my paintings.
Then it made sense. I knew there was a reason he used so many paintings in his buildings. One of the oldest Minecraft tricks, hiding stuff behind paintings. I began destroying all the paintings in the house. After destroying the paintings in the enchantment room, I noticed something. An entrance. I walked through. There was a hole in the ground, with ladders going down, and there he was. As I approached, he began running down the tunnel. Where are you going?
Follow me.
I climbed down the ladder, started following him through the tunnel. Then I turned the corner and entered the room. I froze. It looked like a replica of my bedroom in real life. Gray walls, red carpet, my desk, my TV, my bed, 3 monitors, the lights. I was shocked, confused. This had to be some sort of crazy coincidence. What is this?
Read the signs. I hope you like it.
I began reading the signs. The first one I read was placed right next to my bed, where my bed would be. Your sleeping area. You look cute when you sleep. My stomach dropped. Then right where, what I'm guessing is my TV, the sign said, where you like to watch Netflix or YouTube. Your favorite show at the moment seems to be Stranger Things. You also like The Mandalorian on Disney+. I was now disturbed. How did he know this? I began almost shaking. I walked over to what looked to be my setup. The sign there said, your PC setup, where you game and play with me. At this point, I should have just logged out and deleted the server. But for some reason, I kept looking around. Dude, this is weird. I walked over to my desk area, where I normally do any work-related stuff. The sign said, your study area, where you read and do your work. I don't like this area as it takes your time away from playing. He just seemed to follow me around the room as I read the signs. I noticed another entrance, a painting. I broke it. Behind it was the weird basement room, the original one he'd built. I was now really disturbed. He must have been building this area since he built the basement. How could I have been so stupid not to check behind the paintings? So I could have known sooner. Secret entrances behind paintings are like the oldest trick in the book for Minecraft. I hope this is a joke. How do you know what my bedroom looks like?
I just know your exact bedroom lights. They work. Hope you like.
At this point, I was in disbelief. This was exactly how my bedroom lights worked. In my bedroom, in real life. Why go to all this effort to remake them out of redstone? He just looked at me, and spammed crouch, like I was going to react normally to this. No, I'm leaving unless you tell me right now. This is too weird. I was shaking, hoping somehow this was some insane coincidence. A joke. I just sat there staring at him, waiting for a response.
I have been watching you. Before I wanted to play with you, I had to check up and do a background check.
I was stunned. A background check?
Find out who you are and what you like. All of that to make sure we would be compatible friends.
WTF.
Why do you look so shocked? I thought you would have liked this.
This is exactly how my bedroom looks in real life. Then I realized something. How do you know I look shocked? My face was literally jaw-dropped. And you can't see that in Minecraft.
I'm watching you.
Nah, seriously, this is too far, just cut the jokes.
No, I'm actually watching you. Throw up a number at your monitor.
I thought there's no way. So I threw up 3. And then, in the chat, like clockwork, he said,
You're holding 3.
Bro, WTF. I went to type something else, but didn't know what to say.
Wave at your webcam. I like your outfit today.
I can't tell if that was a joke or a lucky guess. I was trying to call his bluff, just hoping this all was one big joke.
You're wearing a red t-shirt and red is your favorite color. With a white hat on. Looks cool.
My heart sank. It felt like it was going to pop out. When he said that, I had exactly that on. A red t-shirt and a white cap. Once it sank in that this was no joke, I instantly hit disconnect and left the server. I unplugged my webcam from my PC and just sat there, scared, disturbed, unsure what to do. I powered off my PC and went to chill on my bed to try and calm down. I turned on some YouTube to try and take my mind off it. While I sat on my bed watching YouTube, about 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed. I had a Discord notification, a message.
Why did you leave?
I quickly blocked the account. 2 minutes later, I had a notification from Instagram, a follow request from an unknown account. I quickly blocked that. And then I had a Facebook friend request from a new fake profile. I started shaking. I quickly blocked that. And then a Snapchat friend request from an account called bestfriend_exe. I quickly blocked that account. Then, 5 minutes later, an email from Watch.
Friends don't treat each other like this.
I reported the email as spam and instantly disabled all my social media accounts and just sat there, shaking, disturbed and creeped out. Then I had a text message come through from a random number.
You can't get rid of me by disabling your accounts. I'm always watching, friend.
This goes out as a warning. If you ever run into a player called Watcher_exe, leave immediately. Don't even engage. This ended up being one of the most terrifying and disturbing moments of my life, and one of the biggest mistakes I have ever made. I guess you never do truly know if a Minecraft server is truly abandoned, even if it's over 10 years old.